This is a great opportunity. This huge event that we're participating in and debating the ban of Alex Jones. Now, we need to understand the most meaningful thing that you can pick out of this thing, out of this event. You cannot just leave empty-handed. I hope if you find this video, recognize the value and please consider amplifying my voice. Sharing, right? Now, the point is not going to be clear for everyone, because I've experienced this before personally, and I've taken action to what happened in my life, to the ban that was that a certain business have received. A business. Alex Jones is a business, and basically YouTube decided to drop a nuke onto it. This is a World War III scenario at this point. This is like dropping a nuke on Hiroshima. It's a big business that is blatantly destroyed, and YouTube is exercising its power even though it's supposed to be a public service thing. But I say it has become so self-obsessed, just like Minecraft. That's the parallel. I come from the background where I associated with Minecraft so much. There was a mod called AdventureCraft, where you can create maps in Minecraft. And I associated with that. There was a growing, unstoppable potential business, and that would have changed gaming instantly. Right? It would have taken over the gaming industry as a whole. It's bigger than Alex Jones, I'm telling you. What happened was way too obvious. Even though it wasn't a strike, direct strike, it was quite a dangerous perspective that Minecraft developers were going. Basically, a very weird direction that they were going. Because they didn't care about the modding community, they just pushed updates. And that's what killed Minecraft mods. Most of the Minecraft mods were killed because Minecraft kept updating. Do you see the parallel now? YouTube kept updating their policies, their sensitivity to what they call hate speech, right? To critical content. Content that is hard to consume, content that also introduces people to certain communities, right? Certain ways of thinking. It's like, but did YouTube really decide that Alex Jones is just a bad person, is a bad friend to watch for people? Well, at least I'm not attached to Alex Jones as I was in the past, so I can't relate the significance of the problem here. I started detached from Alex Jones over time, and it's what other people are also saying. It's just hard content to watch. It is unedited. It it becomes predictable over time, obviously, because it is Alex Jones. But he kept his business somewhat fresh in certain times. And he also himself, I don't like the direction Alex Jones himself was taken necessarily on specific issues. Right, he was called out by Eric DePay that he doesn't support flat Earth. Actually, he was against it significantly. Damn. That he's just a shill as well as everyone else. But Eric DeBay likes to point out shills. I mean, what else Alex Jones did? That's weird. Besides that little thing, I would say, I don't know, what, supporting David Icke and his reptilian ideology. I think Alex Jones sort of subscribed to that a little bit, but I always try to be, try to create a platform for everyone else to, or rather, he was trying to benefit from everyone else at the same time. I don't know. It's just such a weird thing. Just like Lawrence Southern, I would have to create an entire piece decoding what Alex Jones was doing and the bad things that he was doing. But there were also good things, which I remember him basically introducing me in 2012 when the Syria crisis was happening and Barack Obama was deciding whether to attack or not. And so I was researching what was happening and stumbled upon Alex Jones. And he also introduced me to Stefan Molyneux. Alex Jones was the gatekeeper of all this content for me. Like, that was badass. Alex Jones is a badass, basically. Because he helped me find all of this content that I needed to watch and develop myself. Educate myself on philosophy and all these things. And this is a wonderful event, by the way. You cannot take it as a bad thing. Again, you cannot take a start of a war as a bad thing. We have to fight the war. Right? If YouTube is declaring war, we have to fight it. Now, I'm not sure if it's gonna spiral into actual war. That would be crazy, man. If YouTube is like, let's see what happens. Just poking around. What is YouTube's intention? But as I say, this is most likely simply YouTube is going a certain direction and every other platform is going a certain direction right now. They want to comply to certain governments, ideologies, and they're gonna make their platform incompatible with what other people do. And so big businesses like that, like, this is straight up attack. It's a bit different than, again, what I described happened with AdventureCraft. When it sort of wasn't capable of keeping up with Minecraft's updates. It's the same thing, though. People cannot keep up with YouTube's policies because they keep on updating that shit. They keep on being more and more sensitive towards critical content. They don't let people decide what is critical. Like, look at this. Look at this. Is it that fucking difficult, YouTube? This guy. Thank you for banning Alex Jones. You open this video. Oh, look at the like and dislike ratio. You know what that means, YouTube? Let me educate you. That is critical content. This is what people don't like. This is where there are no fans of this person, of what he just said. Right? You can watch it. It's garbage. Right? People understand what is garbage. We have that power. How did YouTube not recognize that? How did YouTube thought, oh, let's just use an algorithm that exploits human beings as much as possible? Well, controversial YouTube updates has been piling up over time, and it is creating really big discomfort. And most importantly, this is creating fear, just like anti-fascism movement is creating fear. What is a Nazi? How do you fucking define a Nazi? If we can punch Nazis, okay, I can agree to punch a Nazi. Fine, I can do that. I can go this far, as allow violence in a society for whatever reason. And now I'm gonna go to the meat of the conversation, the critical hit part 3. Why do I call it that way? Why do I continue the series of critical hit? The critical hit series is talking about how criticism is illegal and how free speech can in fact be limited because there is a simple rule. Not a simple rule that Mark Passio says, no violence. Not a simple rule that Stefan Molyneux would say, oh, I have this UPB system. It's universally preferred behavior. And it's somewhat unrelated, but he also mentions a simple rule, pencil for $1. That doesn't work. These simple rules that have been pointed out by, let's call them modern philosophers, they don't work. You know why? That's not exactly what the rule is. The golden rule is consent. If you allow something to happen, it's going to manifest regardless. There are no rules in nature. If you actually take a look into nature, are there any rules? No, but whatever you decide to use power for, how you manifest your environment, that is going to be manifested, is going to be created, it's going to work in a certain way because you decided that it will, right? You put intention, you put consent, and you made sure that the environment around you consents to your rules. You have created rules, basically. The golden rule of every other rule that can be possibly created comes from consent, right? So we can say we can punch Nazis. I can say something controversial like this. What about the rule, I can rape your girlfriend if you're my friend, but I don't have a girlfriend? That would be a nice rule. I would allow this rule to happen. Obviously, it would put a little bit of pressure of having a girlfriend before your friends do. We all have to collectively start getting girlfriend, or we have to deal with the fear of having her being raped by the friend. If your friend doesn't like or likes her too much, if your friend doesn't like the relationship or likes her too much, like, this would fix a lot of things. Oh, let's rape girlfriends. That's a great thing. I've been criticized by my friends for dipping my nose into relationships, and it's certainly a rule that I would love to have implemented. maybe it would work, maybe it wouldn't work, but it's a rule that we can agree to. And it would be violent. It wouldn't be following universally preferred behavior necessarily. Depending on Stefan Molyneux can change the definition as he pleases, obviously. He coined out the term in the first place. But it wouldn't be non-violent, as you see. Is it self-defense? Not necessarily. It's a weird thing. And yet I would see no problem with that. And similar rules. You can come up with similar rules like this. That sort of, you can sense the socialism in there. You can see that, oh, if I feel that this is unfair, I can be violent about it. You can sort of feel that socialism flavor in the rule that I've just created. And it is true. That's what socialism is, basically. It's very interesting rules like these that come together and form interesting playgrounds. We're literally just having a playground for the most part. When it comes to socialism, it comes down to playgrounds and what kind of rules we follow and what we're allowed to do and how we're allowed to express violence sometimes is also very important. Not just for self-defense, but for to keep the rich from getting rich, right? To be able to insert violence to where you think there is injustice, to distribute wealth violently, but somehow it's important to keep the society together. We have talked about inequality, but like it doesn't go hand in hand with no violence policy. See, this is very deep stuff that I've just uncovered, and I don't necessarily like it myself. But this is the critical hit that people have to take into their consciousness and understand how life works in the first place. There's more to it. So I've related this to AdventureCraft. I've talked about that Alex Jones is a business and is being shut down. But it's a great event to learn from because I've learned from AdventureCraft situation. I am now making AdventureCraft as it was supposed to be, right? I'm creating my own gaming or game development platform, and hopefully I'll get back to it and accelerate my effort, because I'm very close in doing some very revolutionary stuff. And I hope that the new platform that replaces YouTube, which is inevitable, is gonna come soon. That people realize that we need to accelerate this process. That we need to find these little quirks that don't work over some kind of algorithm, but embrace the voice of the people instead, right? What we want, not what algorithm wants, not what corporate greed wants. We always have to defend against that authority. That's what society always is doomed to fight against, is the devil of the details. I'm gonna remind you guys a simple thing about criticism. Again, Alex Jones has made critical content, something that YouTube thinks is hate speech. Now, deleting a channel is bigger than hate speech. It is very violent. Was it necessary? Was it what people asked for even? Seriously? Was it the rule that you can just ban someone collectively? Facebook and other platforms? Like, where did that came from? People are upset for a reason, obviously. This is shocking. This is a new YouTube policy at this point. We're gonna take action policy? We're gonna scare people even further? Fuck off, man. Fuck off, YouTube. Now I hate it. I hate YouTube 100% for what it's doing. Just like how I hate Minecraft. But I'm gonna keep moving on the direction that I'm going, and I know I'm doing the good work, the work that actually needs to be done. You need to create your own platform, or you need to embrace the creation of these platforms that are totally free, a totally public service that everyone can upload their own content, and whoever gets amplified, we can argue about it. But just uploading content and keeping it safe, not getting your videos deleted, that is crucial. Content shouldn't be deleted. People shouldn't break each other's legs and arms simply just because of something. Like, it's too much violence at this point. At this point, you're creating so much violence that is probably unreasonable, right? Just destroying stuff is very likely unreasonable. It's very likely something nobody would consent to. Because how can you do that? How can you consent to it? Self-destruction of a platform. You can't. You cannot embrace that necessarily. So I'm just gonna remind you guys of what criticism is about, or critical content. So what was that? Only criticism that you can avoid and doesn't rape you is not violent. What did I mean by that? I can't remember now. I just know that when you criticize, when you put critical content, attacking certain groups of people, whatever, criticizing, freedom of speech that we really need to have to criticize each other, it's not helping the society though. It's not gonna help the society, criticizing each other. As I've said, if the left was criticized by their own peers, they usually work, in these big corporations as well, in big media, in fake news media, that we call it. But they do it in a somewhat clean and professional way. They try to do that sort of journalism, I guess. They try to look clean and professional and get their content on TV that anyone could watch. And the problem becomes is like if the left was criticized in their own environment, that would be insane. They can't imagine criticism. Leftists can't imagine criticism because they're surrounded by diverse people. If these diverse people start attacking them, they would get away with it. Like if a specifically diverse person who knew all of the buttons that they can press on me and completely destroy my life, they could do that. I know psychologically that personalities are capable of destroying certain other personalities if they wanted to. But we don't want that to to be happening. Like, criticism is actually pretty dangerous. And freedom of speech should be limited. We should be... Shadow banning is a little bit too much, because we don't want not to know what the rules are, right? We do need to know what the rules are. But we can debate on who gets amplified, who gets their voice heard. We can debate that, but just not destroy their voice in the first place. Just let people speak, right? Why are you putting tape over people's mouths? That's where the freedom of speech is required. Is you can upload content. Whatever content that is, you can upload it. That's what YouTube has to fucking nail into their heads if they want to survive. If YouTube wants to survive, they have to allow all type of content, even the most brutal and nasty type of content. They have to find a way to put it in there and not delete it. Not start deleting things. Which is weird, right? Now, so I'm gonna say that again. The critical content is destructive to society. If it gets amplified, it's bad. We need YouTube to understand. The other side, however, that we need to upload anything we want should be uploaded. The only thing it requires organizing things so that children don't get to watch mature content, right? That they prove themselves capable of watching it in the first place. Some kind of rules have to come into place. And YouTube couldn't handle it, basically. In a way, it's an immature way to handle things. We just have to realize that as well. So, that was my point. And again, I didn't really finish, but critical content does destabilize society. The good people get fat on criticism, meaning that they eat it. They allow criticism to take over their heads and change their lives, and they become slaves. They become abused. They're easily abusable by criticism because they easily accept it without much resistance, right? They think of themselves as good, as kind, so they allow criticism to be a part of kindness on their part. And these are the people that kill themselves when they get too fat on criticism. We kill good people with criticism, do you understand? If we're not careful about this. And the bad people can ignore criticism. They don't give a fuck. What they can also do is take criticism and use against other people, against good people again. They can see what criticism pushes people's buttons. Oh, this works. Oh, let me collect that and use against good people again. Great. Freedom of speech shouldn't be... That's the debate, basically. That was the entire debate. I hope I explained everything. Can we keep going from this point right now? I think this is so good that it happened, and I had an opportunity to explain you guys the most crucial point. And oh boy. Criticism requires consent. That's the part where it connects with the golden rule. Criticism requires consent. A lot of people don't like criticism. And rightfully so, because it does disrupt society. Thank you guys for watching. And Alex Jones, thank you for everything that you did. YouTube made you into a sacrifice to amplify a very important message that we need to receive. If you watched so far, You received the message. You are the resistance. So let's do our work. Let's do our part of the work. Thank you, Alex Jones.